I'm now pleased to introduce Richard Guarasci, a longtime leader in higher education civic engagement, who's held numerous leadership positions that I will not list because it is way too long, but is formally, most importantly, chair of Campus Compact, and he's president emeritus of Wagner College. Richard he's an accomplished scholar and author, and his credits include his book, Neighborhood Democracy, Building Anchor Partnerships Between Colleges and Communities, and his most recent article, Building the Third American Republic in Overcoming Post-Truth Politics. But it is St. Patrick's Day, so I'd like to use a different frame for Richard's introduction and welcome today. I'd like to introduce Richard as Campus Compact's Anam Cara, which means soul friend in Gaelic. A soul friend transcends over other types of relationships and acts as a mentor, an intimate confidant. They allow you to truly be yourself. They foster personal growth, belonging, and spiritual healing. And when I think about Richard's work over his career as a scholar, as a leader in our fields, et cetera, I feel like that captures what he's brought most to us. So please welcome Richard Guarasci, Campus Compact's Anam Cara.
Thank you, Matt. That was just a spectacular introduction. I hope I can live up to it. I'm so pleased that you're all here in spite of all the weather, and I'm particularly pleased how young this group is. I've been at this for over 50 years, and I can tell you this is your moment, and the work that you're doing is so critical, and I'm going to spend my 10 minutes to explain to you why, and give it a little bit of a historical perspective. I'd like to start with a quote from James Baldwin, which was inspirational to me, led to this article I wrote about building the Third American Republic. I'm going to read it twice because it's that powerful. Nothing is fixed forever, forever, forever. Generations do not cease to be born, and we are responsible to them because we are the only witnesses they have. The moment we break faith with one another, the sea engulfs us, and the light goes out. I'll read it again. Nothing is fixed forever, forever, forever. Generations do not cease to be born, and we are responsible to them as the only witnesses they have. The moment we break faith with one another, the sea engulfs us, and the light goes out. That's our mission, okay? Not to let the light go out. In these very dark times, in a very perverted world with perverted leadership around us, it is so easy to lose faith and to abandon the mission. You are not doing that. My hope is when I look in your eyes and see the work that you're doing, you're committed to. That's the critical piece. Frederick Douglass gave me inspiration as well, because Frederick Douglass in 1864, as the Civil War was coming to an end and the Union was going to hold and slavery was defeated, he gave this famous speech in 1860. When all around the country giving this speech, he called the Mission of War speech. Now, Douglass, when confronted by people about what's his patriotism, he would say, my patriotism is written on my back with all the scars and the whippings I took as a slave. So he's no fool. He's no naive idealist. He earned every inch of his political integrity. And he said this about the Civil War and where the country was going. He said, the First Republic is over from the Revolution to now because the First Republic was built on a slave economy. We have a chance to build a Second Republic, which can be built on something different. He understood that. First, he said, we may conquer Southern armies, but it's another thing to conquer Southern hate. We'll take the geography out of it and think about where we are now with the MAGA movement and what's being pressed against us. So we have to conquer the minds, or not conquer, but we have to be able to nurture the minds and hearts of a majority of this country towards intercultural justice and democracy. That's our goal. That's our mission. Let's not lose the North Star here. We have a document that supports that. He went on to say, we want a country which shall not brand the Declaration of Independence a lie. We want a country in which the obligations of patriotism shall not conflict with fidelity to justice and liberty. Think about that. That document is our document. That Declaration of Independence doesn't belong to some flag-waving MAGA people. It belongs to us. That's the commitment. That's the commitment, and that's our North Star. And we should be patriotic. Don't let patriotism be taken over by folks who don't believe in democracy. We believe in democracy. We believe in the original founding document of this nation. How imperfect the founders were and the writers and authors of that document, how they could not understand fully what was being asked of them. They laid a foundation of ideas and virtues and values that we can commit ourselves to, and we should commit ourselves to, and we are the patriots, not the others. And our work is essentially in the civic role, because Douglass understood that voting and elections are the essential ingredient, but they're not sufficient, that we have to change minds, we have to change values, we have to change the civic culture of the United States. And that's the work we're doing here, with anchor partnerships, with civic engagement plans, the work in our communities, the way we bring anchors and allies together. That's the work that's going to make the difference in the long run. It's going to be able to change enough of the culture to support the Declaration of Independence as an ongoing, living, breathing document and experience for all of us. So I can only tell you that I'm so moved by your being here and the work that you're doing. My generation has passed the torch. It's on your shoulders. And I wanted to say one other thing. You know, people like me get up here and we held all these positions. We started just where you are. We started exactly where you are. I was a visiting instructor at St. Lawrence University in upstate New York on the Canadian border. There wasn't in the faculty handbook a role for something called instructor, never mind visiting instructor, okay? This was, don't unpack your bags, you won't be here by a semester or two. Okay, so it turned out differently than people thought. The thing is, you have to believe in yourselves, believe in the vision. Don't be ideological about it, but believe in the vision of the Declaration. Learn the arts of democracy, which we teach our students, teach it to ourselves over and over again. Sense of empathy, a sense of your own voice, of critical thinking, of the way in which we build mediation into our work, the way we bring coalitions together, move to action, do reflection about what worked and didn't work, and start again and continue, and build resiliency, right? Build resiliency. That's what's needed now. So it's on your shoulders. You're doing the work. Be proud. These meetings are so important. They were so important to me at all the different national organizations because we see people like ourselves doing the work. We build friendships and community together, and it sustains us no matter what's happening in our local community. So I salute you. It's an absolute pleasure to be here with you. And I'm just so pleased that this is working. Thank you, thank you, thank you.